White House tomorrow to discuss the issue, presumably lobby for votes. We'll talk more about where the White House goes next on this and the president's remarks today.
We're not going to own it. I'm not going to own it. I can tell you the Republicans are not going to own it. We'll let Obamacare fail, and then the Democrats are going to come to us.
So, Doug, I mean, if a repeal without a replace doesn't go anywhere, what is the next step? I mean,
well, we don't know if there are next steps. That's the reality here, but it's also why I think it's incumbent on the president in some fashion to own this. We're here in part because...
You want him to own it?
Yes. We haven't seen him own this yet. If you look at what's happened, we've struggled with Obamacare replacement for years. David covered House Republicans to death in 2014 when we couldn't even put a white paper together. Now we're struggling to pass votes, but we didn't have the president and the White House fully engaged on this, engaging the business community, engaging conservative groups, and that left a vacuum, which meant that we had CBO stories that were bad, we had process stories that were bad, and without the president leading that charge and really owning this, we're not going to see anything change. He's the only dynamic that's new in this.
And I'm with Charles on this, which is that he has a responsibility now, as the federal government does, to make the system work. The federal government plays a huge role in this, in not only shoring up the markets, but delivering federal subsidies, making sure that it works. I mean, you can't, as the President of the United States, say, well, look, I don't own this. First of all, you are the President of the United States. You're the leader of the Republican Party. You tried to get involved, then you pulled back, and then you were tried to get, and guess what? It didn't work. So you do own it, Mike, and you can't just let it.
Well, look, Sarah Huckabee Sanders said this isn't over yet. He's negotiating, okay? And what he's trying to say is, I'm prepared to go into 2018 and have a fight on health care. Right? I'm prepared to say the Democrats are going to own this. They wrote this law, they defended it, they said it was great, and now they're getting mad at me that it's collapsing and that people could die from the bill that they wrote. Okay, so let's go to the people and have a conversation about this. The single-payer bill, which is the Bernie Sanders government-run health care all the way, has the most co-sponsors it's ever had, and gets dropped every Congress, has the most co-sponsors it's ever had. There was a single-payer law that was introduced in California that literally would have doubled the entire California budget. Even the liberals in the California legislature said that's too much money to spend. So there is a health care fight where the Republicans are looking at what the Democrats are in disarray on this, and they think we've got... It hasn't gotten ripe yet. It hasn't gotten ripe yet. We can get to a point of negotiating to get back to the table.
I can't let this pass.
There's enough leverage because people are worried.
You just said the Democrats are now saying that they're upset because the bill that they wrote is going to make people die.
Well, that's what you said.
No, that's not. That is not.
You said people are going to die.
Well, let me tell you what I said, because that's not in any way what I said. Okay. There are now 30 million more people who have health insurance now than had it before the ACA. That means that fewer people have had to make the incredible choice about whether or not they were going to buy groceries or buy medicine. That means that fewer people were running into lifetime limits with a child that was born. I'll let you talk. Now, I'm going to talk now.
Okay.
They are now not having to run up against lifetime limits with a child. Child did nothing wrong, made no bad choices. They were born with a problem. And they're running out into a lifetime limit in the first year. Those people are having to make incredible choices, and some people, the choices they make still did not save their lives. And there were more people caught up in that before the ACA, 30 million more people caught up in that before the ACA than there are now. So I am not in any way saying what you are accusing me of saying, which is that the Democrats wrote a bill that made people die. It actually prevented more people from dying.
Let me just say, I mean, Governor Kasich was saying that he actually believes there is a possibility of bipartisanship here. I mean, is that just a fantasy?
Well, not when the president is threatening to stop funding cost-sharing subsidies, which, by the way, expire this Thursday for next month. That would be about $10 billion and could see premiums go up some 20% and throw a lot of people off insurance. So that's not when you talk about negotiating, that's the guy who's behind the art of the deal. That's not how you go into a negotiation by threatening.
But the counter-argument of that is you have Chuck Schumer who says, look, the door is open, but it's got to be this, this, and this. I mean,
once the president can settle within his own party, then he can talk to Chuck Schumer. His biggest headache right now is what's going on internally within his own
party. That's exactly the point, which is left to his own devices, President Trump could get with Chuck Schumer, and they could, because one of the problems that Trump had all along is that he wanted to keep primary aspects of Obamacare, including keeping younger people on their parents' plan, etc. He is more of a big government guy on health care. Conservatives are not. And but I don't, look, I mean, to Kirsten's earlier point, you may not have liked me saying that they rammed it through. Obamacare was passed on a party line vote. That's always dangerous.
Whose fault is that?
Well, it doesn't matter. That's the reality.
does
There was
matter.
not, well, but there was not.
True that it doesn't matter.
Well,
I mean, I think it
Chris
matters
Dodd
a
at the
lot.
time who was negotiating said it was a huge mistake to pass it with Democrats only. It has, I think, ceded part of the public lack of support for Obama, which has now grown over time. So, but the real problem is now it's in place, and I think Democrats are going to treat it like the Alamo. They are going to protect
I want to give you the final thought when we get
Yeah, Republicans are in a very dangerous place here. We've had 4 elections in a row where we said we are going to do this. Now we own everything. If we don't do it, go into red states, go into purple states. Our base is already demoralized because they haven't seen a whole lot happening that they're proud of. If we can't get rid of Obamacare, which we've been promising forever, a lot of our voters are just going to stay home.
Up next, we're going to take a fresh look at the president.